Join me in today's video as I have another go at making a Deadpool cake. This time I made this one for Channel 4's Snapchat channel. So some of you guys that watch regularly will know I have already done a Deadpool cake a little while ago, which you can also watch over on my YouTube channel. And also I've got a brand new one coming up very soon, which will be on here in the next day or two too. So I used an 8-inch round vanilla cake for this one. I did actually purchase it ready-made, and I dolloped in the middle some red coloured buttercream. Just put the top layer on there, and I printed myself off a template that I cut around for this one. Now the cake's not quite big enough, but we'll add some more to it. Also keep hold of any offcuts you've got, because we can use those for bulking back out. And I'm just trying to carve it so he's more rounded, so it looks a little bit more 3D, adding an extra bit for the nose. Now I do have some spare cake offcuts as well as what I've just cut off this one to bulk out kind of the shoulders and the arm area. Constantly looking at that template for whereabouts I need to shape it. Now I'm going to cover the whole thing in a layer of what looks like buttercream but is actually red coloured ganache, just so it firms up. Then I'm going to be using some red coloured fondant. We'll roll it out as thin as we can for this, and I'm going to put it on piece by piece. Now I have added a bit of texture to this, just using a texture mat, and I've done the same with the black fondant as well. So you can see I'm just working on small areas at a time for this one. The texture is quite important on this one, as Deadpool does have a pretty textured costume. Any bits where I didn't cut the cake quite to the right shape, so just above his eye here, I have just bulked it out a little bit more with a bit of modelling paste as well. And then again, I'm using my template just to keep marking on where I need to put the eyes, if I need to bulk out that nose at all. Rolling more fondant as thin as I can get it. Let's see if we can cover the whole head this time. Now, I do love the Deadpool movies, so I did really want to have a go at making another one of these cakes. Like I say, this one was for Channel 4's Snapchat channel, which is called Baking News, so you can also see it on there with extra footage added in as well. I'm hoping that I've improved with this one from the last one that I made. And actually, it was much quicker for me to make this one than the previous one that I'd made on here as well. So the black I've rolled out really nice and thin and just covered the eye area. And then I've just pushed in little eye sockets and then filled them with some white fondant. Let's go back to a little bit more black. Let's cut it here. And then let's put the little marks on. So these are the ends of his swords. Are they called swords? It is swords, isn't it, that he has? I should know, shouldn't I, since I watched the films. And also the black for the gloves. Now, I did try and go thin with fondant, but obviously the areas like the gloves is pretty thick where I'm layering it on in pieces. And I had to roll like little sausage shapes. I did it solid in fondant because it was just too tricky to cut the cake out into the shape of the fingers for those bits. Now the part that I enjoy the most, adding the colour. I'm using some powdered colours for this one. I'm going to start with the white, and I'm just going to add that to any areas that I really want to look like the light is reflecting and, you know, to look like it's highlighted basically. I'm just brushing it on dry, and it is edible colour that I'm using here, guys. Also, I can darken some areas as well just to give it a bit more depth, even using a darker red, a little bit of black too. Really getting it into the crease lines. And I think that makes such a big difference to what it looks like. So I was pretty pleased with this one. It didn't take overly long to make. We did it in just a few hours. And of course, before the important cake cutting part, I do need to make sure we get any video footage and photos of the finished cake. Sometimes I do forget and cut the cake without getting any finished photographs. Now, I'm not overly great at cutting cakes. You'll see in a second I could barely reach this one to actually cut. And it's funny, it's the shot that people like to see in the videos as a nice cutting slice of cake. But I think for the end shot, you can't tell, and it looks like a fairly smooth cut as I'm removing that last piece of cake for the final video. And of course, I need to get some photos of it cut as well before I can give away the cake and let everybody eat a piece. So there it is, all finished. Like I say, this one was done for Channel 4's Baking News channel over on Snapchat. I had a lot of fun making this one. Let me know, guys, do you think you preferred this one or the one that I made previously on YouTube? I think I've improved a little bit on this one. And don't forget to check out the new one, which will be on in a few days. And if you enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel for more like this one. Although this one's a short one, usually they're a little bit longer.